and that with that. Okay, and it gives me this. Okay, the bottom expression, which is the same as the top, which means we've done it right. Okay. That's what we do. Okay, don't worry. The more questions you will do, the easier it will become. And maybe I'll speak to Uncle about sending some specific examples about indices. Okay, about how we do indices. But it should be available in your exam whiz pack of how to find a section on indices. Okay, right. Let's move on onto similar work, but more interesting. And what this is, ladies and gentlemen, is how do we actually solve these things? Okay, if we're given these expressions, I think somebody asked a question last week, and I showed you a very simple example how to solve these equations. Okay, so we're going to start off. We're going to start off small, and we're going to get into some really complex area. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm not giving you something that is too difficult immediately. Okay, so anyway, let's do this example, and I'm going to show you some interesting graphs afterwards. Remember what we said? We said we will show you what's the big C that we talk about always?
Connections.
How they connect. Okay, how things connect. Okay, how they connect together. Okay, so let's do one question, and I will show you how this connects to graphs and everything else. Okay, so let's do this one. Let's do, I don't know why this changes. This is really annoying today. Why is this changing? Okay, I don't know why this is changing. Why are you changing? Why are you making my life difficult today? Ah, this is annoying. Okay, I think this will work. Right. So we're going to do okay, and we're going to talk about factorizing
Quadratics.
Quadratics. Okay. Quadratic has the form, and we touched upon this last week. Okay, it has the general form. Okay, the general form is x squared. Okay, bx plus c. That's the general form. That's what it will look like. So let's get straight into it. I have a quadratic equation, and it looks like this. And we're going to factorize this. Do you remember how we factorized this? I showed you a technique last week. Again, we're going over a little bit of old ground, but I want to make sure you understand this, okay?
Maybe the factor is 2?
Well, there's a technique I wanted you to learn, okay? And we're going to go through that now again, just to make sure it's all in your heads and you don't forget this. So we use this method. We write the equation out, and underneath the equation, I'm just going to put it in a different color, okay? We work out the common factors here like this. So the common factor of x squared, because there's no number in front of it, but there's a 1. Okay, there's a 1. So the common factor of x is 1, and a 1 there. Okay. What's the common factor of 8? Common factors, I should say, of 8. What is
2
it?
and 4.
Okay, it's 2 and 4. Perfect. Our role, ladies and gentlemen, is when we work out the common factors in this form, and I'm more than happy for you to write it out like this, is that when I cross multiply this and then add it to this. Whoa, got a bit wonky there. Let me draw it again. When I add it to this, I get the following expression. It is 1 times 4 plus 1 times 2 is equal to
6.
6. So I want to just show you which bit refers to which bit. Okay. I'm going to use an orange. Think of it as a game. My goal is to get to this number. And that means I've achieved my mission, my objective for this. And the way I write it out, so I was working cross multiplication. The way I write out the factors, I now work horizontally.
I cannot see a line.
Okay, I'll do it in a different color. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm running out of colors, but I'll show it in yellow. Okay. I write it out horizontally.
Oh, now I can see it.
And this becomes x plus 2. And this becomes x plus 4. Okay? So therefore, the factorization of this is okay. So this is the method. This is the method. So if we were going to write it out in order, what we're doing, we do the common factors first in terms of steps. Common factors. We do the cross multiplication second and third. We check that we can achieve the goal of when I cross multiply the factors, I get to the middle number here, which I've got. Okay. And the fifth and the sixth step is to write it out horizontally. And then the seventh step is to write out the answer in terms of factorization. Those are the steps I want you to undertake. If you follow these steps, you will never get it wrong. You will always get it right. Okay? So we are going to spend the next 20-25 minutes going through this method a number of times, but I am going to show you how to solve these as well now. Okay? I'm going to show you how to solve this. And we touched upon this very quickly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to solve this, and we're going to do probably another 5 questions, and I'm going to get you all to answer them. Okay? So by the end of this lesson, you will know how to solve these equations. So the 8th step, if I wanted to do it, and remember, you've got to read the question carefully of what the examiner wants you to do. But if I was going to solve this, let's say I was asked to solve this particular equation, okay? I'll just write it around, okay? Maybe solve for 0. So therefore, x squared plus 6x plus 8 equals 0. So if I was being asked to solve this, ladies and gentlemen, would you be amazed if I told you you had already worked out the solution?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you already done it. You've already done the hard work because we've been through this. So, in order for something to be zero, what do I have to multiply it by? Zero.
Zero.
Yeah, absolutely. You can multiply it by zero. So, I want you to have a look at this. This is an interesting point here, and I'm going to just go sideways.
Okay.
If I took this, remember there's a multiplication here. Okay? A multiplication there. That times that bracket, multiplied by that bracket. And I've been asked to solve it for zero. Okay? What if, ladies and gentlemen, this expression was zero? What would happen to this? If that was zero, just think, just imagine that was zero. You don't have to imagine what the values are, but if it was zero, what would this be? What would this be? The result?
Zero.
It would be zero. So I would satisfy the equation. I'll be able to solve it because whatever the condition to make,
Times whatever is
yeah.
zero.
And by the same logic, remember, ladies and gentlemen, maths is based on logic. If by the same logic this was zero, then it would also be zero because if I made the first expression or the second part of it zero, the result would always be zero, always. Okay. So here's an interesting point now. I'm going to go back to the first bit in orange. I've got the expression x plus 2. What would x need to be for that to be 0? X plus 2. Sorry, I missed out the x. So x plus 2. If I wanted to make that to be 0, what would x have to be? What plus minus, what do I have to add to 2? What does x have to be for it to be
Minus
0? Oh, you are a genius. You are a genius. So if x equals minus 2, this would be 0. This would be 0. This would be equal to 0. So if x was minus 2 here, it would be 0, and 0 multiplied by this with this. So this is one solution. Okay? So this is solution 1. Perfect. But I've got two expressions. I've got two expressions. I've got an expression called x plus 4. And if I wanted that to be 0,
How
what
would it be minus 4?
you guys are geniuses today. You guys are excelling. They have to be minus 4. And this is solution number 2. And this is how you solve these equations. If you put in x minus 2 into this equation, it would be equal to 0 if you put it into here. Okay? If you put x minus 4 into this equation, it would be 0. Okay? This, ladies and gentlemen, you have solved. This equation you have solved. Okay? So well done. Really, really happy that you've done this. But we're not going to finish there because we want to explain what we call the most important question that we can ask is, how does this connect to other things we've done? Let me show you. So I've taken the liberty of doing some graphs. I wanted to show you how this connects to graph theory. Okay. So I'm going to take this original equation. Where's it gone? Here we go. I've taken this original equation, and I'm a person who doesn't know how to factorize. I don't know how to solve equations. So what do? I do this. Yeah. Oh, let's do. Come on. There we go. I don't know why